Welcome student. Today I am going to discuss a new topic, throws keyword. I will also discuss about the customized or user defined exception in this lecture. In the previous lecture we had discussed about throw keyword. What is throw keyword? When we can use the throw keyword? What is the purpose of throw keyword? We had already explained with some example also, some fact about the throw keyword. So in this lecture I am going to discuss about the throws keyword, and I will discuss what is the difference between the throw keyword and throws keyword, right? And at the end I will explain what is customized or user defined exception with an example, so that you can get the clear idea about the customized exception. What does mean the customized exception actually, and how can I use this customized exception, how to define a customized exception in this example, in this lecture I am going to discuss. So before going to discuss about the throws keyword, let me take a simple example, programming example, so that you can get the clear idea about the throws keyword, why it is needed. So first I am taking a simple example. Here the name of the class is test, okay, and within class test public static void main, and within main string args, and I am going to create an object print writer, and name of the object is pw new print writer. Right, and within the passing argument abc dot txt. Then I want to print pw dot println hello in this file. Okay. Now look at this. Here I am creating a print writer object. So I have to import this basically it's a input output classes. So I have to import let me import java.io.star. Now it is okay. Now tell me whether I am going to get a compile time error or runtime error. Think about it. I am going to get a compile time error or runtime error. Obviously it is a compile time error. Why? Because here I am going to use a print writer object and I have passing a argument abc.txt file. So I want to open this abc.txt file, but it may be happen that the file is not available. So that kind of exception is a check exception, right? So if there is a check exception, or in our program if there is a possibility to raising any check exception, then the compulsory we should handle this check exception, otherwise I will get a compile time error. So compile time error will get in this case. Why? Because this is a check exception. This file may not be present at the accessing time. So we have not used any try catch block. So compiler will see that there is no handling code for this check exception. So we will report and give the error compile time error unreported exception, unreported exception. Unreported exception java.io.file not found exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Okay. Exception java.io.file file not, what kind of exception may arise? File not found, file not found, file not found, file not found exception, right, file not found exception. And must be caught, or declared to be thrown. To be thrown. Please look at this. Here one of the word is caught, another word is thrown. These two words is very important. So compiler will report that the exception, file not found exception must be caught or must be thrown. So in our previous example, we have already seen that try catch block, right, try catch block. So we have a handling code for any type of exception. By with the help of try catch block, finally we can use or we can handle the exception. Let me consider another example. So for example, I am taking a simple example. This is example 1 and this is example, for example 2. Okay. So I am taking the same class, simple, just I am writing public static void main and string args. I am writing in short so that I have write thread dot sleep 10,000 millisecond, for example. So my main method is complete, my class is complete. Now we are here also getting the same type of error, compile time error. Why? Because we are going to use the thread dot sleep class, but I have not handled sorry, I have not handled this exception. I have not write anywhere the try catch block. In the previous example of thread class, we have seen that when we are going to call thread dot sleep method, we have to explicitly handle the exception calls. So what kind of exception may be arises? Interrupted exception. So when the interrupted exception may arise, how do I handle this interrupted exception? I have not mentioned in this code. Okay. So here we have seen two important words you have to keep point. So one is caught, another is thrown. So we can handle this compile time error by using following two ways. What is the ways? First way is using try catch block, and second one using throws keyword or clause, whatever it is, throws keyword or clause or statement. So we can handle exception by two method. One of the method is by using, one of the way is by using try catch block. You already familiar with this one, and second one I am talking right now, throws keyword. Okay, I am just talking about throws keyword. So here in this exception, in this compile time error, I got a caught means I have to handling this code by using try catch, or thrown. How to throw an exception? By using throws keyword. If it is thrown, how can we handle? So that is use thrown keywords, right? So now we know what is throws keyword or what is the purpose of throws keyword, but how can I use it? And let me explain. So what is the purpose actually of throws class? We can use the throws keyword to delegate responsibility of the exception handling. So in this case, here there is an exception. In this case, there is an exception. It should be arise because you already know that what kind of exception it is, interrupted exception, and interrupted exception is a runtime exception. Please remember that when we are discussing about the throws keyword, please keep that in mind. For check exception and uncheck exception concept is very important in this regard. So here we are going to interrupted exception, right? I have just told you interrupted exception. So I am just writing in short interrupted exception. So that exception must be throws. So I will use throws interrupted exception. So that means any exception arise within this method that will be handled by this keyword. So who is going to call this method? Thread.sleep, main method. So who is going to handle this method? So it will handle, or you can say it will delegate the responsibility of the exception to his superclass, or that means the caller class, or it may be a caller method also. So caller may be another method or maybe a JVM, okay, because main is calling in this regard, main is calling by JVM, Java Virtual Machine, right. So who will going to handle this exception? Java Virtual Machine. If I use the throws keyword runtime exception, so who is going to catch? In our throw keyword we have told you that whenever a programmer is going to throw an exception, explicit exception, that exception must be handled by the JVM, right. Whether we are sending the exception or throwing the exception by using explicitly or internally, whatever it is, the ultimately is going to handle by the JVM by using default handler exception handling method. We have already discussed in the very beginning of exception handling. So here in this case there is exception arise, but who is going to handle this exception? If main is written here throws interrupted exceptions, then JVM is coming to the picture and going to handle this code by using default handler exception, default and exception handler, and print whatever the exception may be arise, it will print in computer screen and then abnormal termination, right. So we can use the throw keyword to delegate the responsibility. Later in example we will show that what does mean the delegate responsibility. That means I am not going to handle this exception, the exception will be handled by some other one who is calling this method, and where the exception is arise, that the responsibility will be delegated to this superclass, or you can say the who is calling this method, right. So this is the first point regarding the throws keyword. This is the first purpose, to handle the responsibility, delegate the responsibility of exception to the caller class or to the caller method. Okay. Second one is throws keyword required for check exception. Why? Because in the previous example or so many other examples we have seen that whenever a exception may arise is checked by compiler before running, compiler is going to check your code, the syntax error, but compiler never going to check your uncheck exception. So if we want to throw your exception, so that exception must be a runtime exception, sorry, must be check exception. So check exception must be handled. So throws keyword is used to handle runtime check exception. We already know that error is not a check exception, runtime exception is not a check exception. We know file not found exception, IO exception, SQL exception, interpreter exception, remote exception, those exceptions are check exception. That means in anywhere in my program is if I anywhere in my program if any check exception is going to arise, that must be handled. Either we can use tycast or either we can use throws keyword. So throws keyword, the second purpose is used to require, or throws keywords only required for check exception. So in case of uncheck exception there is no meaning of checking use of throws keyword, or it is not a meaningful way to handle this throws keyword. And the third point is throws keyword required to only convince the compiler, because runtime this exception may be arise, but to pass the compilation, what will happen? The throws keyword only convince to the compiler, and use of throw keyword does not prevent the abnormal termination of the program, because anyone is going to, because every time whenever you use the throws keyword will be handled by the which method? Caller method. Okay, if caller is not handling this code by using try catch blocks, that also a throws keyword, and ultimately who is going to catch this exception? JVM. And who is going to handle this exception? JVM. And how do we handle this exception by JVM? JVM call the default handler clone or the default exception handler, and the default exception handler just print the message to the console and simply terminate this program abnormally. So, we never get a, by using throws keyword we never get a normal termination. So, I will suggest always try to use the try catch block so that we can get the normal termination. We have also seen our last example also, so many other example also. So, if I use the try catch in catch block, there is a handling code, that handling code is used to pass the normal termination of the program, right. So, it is better to use to try catch block so that normal termination of a program is possible. And in the very first lecture of this chapter, I have discussed about a simple class. So, name of the class is class test. I am taking the same example so that you can understand how the throws keyword has been flow. So, public static void main, within main string args I am not writing, please write it. We have a method that is called doStuff. Please remember doStuff method, and doStuff method is going to call public static void doStuff, and doStuff method is going to call doMoreStuff method. It is a clear idea about the throws keyword. Let me write, then public static void doMoreStuff, and within I am just calling thread dot sleep. Okay. For example, I am taking 10,000 millisecond as an argument. Okay. So, main method is complete, test is complete. Okay. Now, look at this. What kind of error may be arise? We are already familiar with this. If I call thread.sleep method and if I do not write any handling code in my program, then there is a compilation error, because there may be a chance of interrupted exception. If there is an interrupted exception is a check exception. So, it must be handled in somehow, whether we can use the try catch or whether we can use also throws keyword, right. So, here if I do not write anything, I will get a compilation error, right. Now, just I have discussed, if I want to pass or delegate the responsibility of handling this exception to my caller class, caller method, who is going to call the doMoreStuff. If I not handle this code by using try catch, who is going to call this method? doMoreStuff. So, I will use throw, because throws keyword is required to deliver this exception. Okay. Throws, I am writing in short interrupted exception. right? Throws interrupted exception. Now here, when the JVM will check that is there any exception code is here, because this do more stuff is going to throw the responsibility to do stuff. Here do stuff has also have not handled this code by using try catch. So do more stuff is thinking that I am going to deliver my responsibility to my caller method. Who is calling this method? Do stuff, main method is calling. So it also we can use throws keyword. So throws and interrupt exception, right? So here the main method is also not handling code. So it all think that I am not going to handle this code. My JVM is calling this main method. So JVM will handle this code. So it is also use the throws keyword. Okay. Then we will not get the compilation error. Otherwise we can use anywhere. For example, we can write try catch here, try then catch here. So we don't have to write the throws keyword, right? If I write, otherwise I have to use the throws keyword. Now think about the sequence. In every method it passing this sequence by using throws keyword to his super method who is calling this method. If suppose this thing is not present, so whenever there is an exception, is throws to interrupt exception to caller method, but this caller method is not handling, I will get the exception here. I will get the compile time error here, because if it is not handled. Even this method is handled, but this method is not handled, then I will get the same exception here. So every step I have to handle it. So and the exception is unreported exception, because you have not reported this exception about this exception class. Now we are considering some case about the throws keyword, so that you can get the clear idea. The first case is, suppose I am taking simple example so that you can get the clear idea about the throws keyword. Suppose I am just taking case 1, where I have written a simple class test. Within I have just write a constructor and I have write a method public void m1 is a method name. So we can use throws keyword to method. So I can write here throws, if any exception is arise, for example I have written thread.sleep, so you can write throws keyword, throws, for example I am writing exception, right, exception. So we can use throws keyword with method. We can also use throws keyword with constructor also. But if I write the throws keyword in method, that is okay. If I write throws keyword in constructor, that is okay, this is okay, this is okay, but this is not okay. We cannot, a class is not going to throw an exception, right? That is not okay. This is the case 1. Now consider the exception, case 2. If I modify this code in simple bit, so class test extend, if I write extend runtime exception or any exception, but basically we will prefer to use runtime exception. Why? Because in case of runtime exception we are not going to check. Okay. So it extends, the class test extends runtime exception. This is case 2, okay, case runtime exception. So runtime exception means it's a subclass of exception. So then we can use the throws keyword, right? This is the case 2, sorry, this is case 2. Now case 3. In case 3, suppose I have a class class test, and within the class test I have a public static void main, and within main I have just written, for example, throw new keyword, throw new and exception, right, exception. I have just simply used this one, okay. And this is, what is it, throw new exception. What kind of exception it is? What kind of exception it is? It is a check exception. So check exception, when we are going to throw a check exception, the check exception must be caught either by throws keyword or either by try catch. But in this example I have not caught here, so it's a compile time error. But if I change this keyword to, for example, instead of this I am just using throw new error, what will happen? Is there a compilation error or runtime error? Any error can be happen, it may be compilation or runtime. Now tell me which one will be happen, which one is the correct? Is that a compilation error or runtime error? It's not a compilation error, because error we already know that is a uncheck exception, okay. This is uncheck, and compiler is not going to bother about the uncheck exception, is always bother about the check exception. So if I write error, so I will not get any error, but I will get a runtime exception. I will get a runtime exception. This is about case 3. Now consider another case, which is the last case about this throws keyword. Here I have written, I have taken 5 classes. The class name is same. In the first class test, public static void main string args try system.out.println hello, and then catch arithmetic exception is. So first exception is arithmetic exception. I am just writing the same context of every class, system.out.println hello, and here I have written exception E. Next example, IO exception E. Next example, error E. Next example, interpret exception E, right. So we have a 5 example. The context is same. I want to print the hello in my computer screen, right. I want to print hello in my computer screen because I have read system.out.println within try block I have written hello. But only difference each of the example is the what kind of exception is going to catch this exception. If any exception arise, what kind of exception is going to catch, right. Now tell me which one is the correct and what kind of exception may be arise, whether it is runtime exception, whether it is compile time exception. Let me analyze. In the first case, in this example, I am going to catch, or I have written a catch block, but with the help of arithmetic exception. So now arithmetic exception is check exception or uncheck exception? It is an uncheck exception. So compilation will be done, and in this code there is a no error, so I will get the output hello, right. In second case, here there is a no error, but I have written an exception. Exception is a check or unchecked, so whatever it is, so exception, so I will get the output hello. Now think about the third case, IO exception. When we declare in catch block by using IO exception, it means that IO exception is a check exception and that must be caught. But in this here, in this code, I have not handled this code anywhere. So I will get a compilation error, right. I will get a compilation error. Next is error. So when we are going to use the error as a exception object, error is unchecked, so compiler will not report, so I will get the output hello. So I will get the output hello. Next, interrupted exception. For the same reason, interrupted exception is a runtime exception. Runtime exception. So interrupted exception is a check exception. So check exception must be caught, right? So this is an compilation error. This all about the case 4. So far we have discussed about the throws keyword, why it is needed, what is the purpose of this throws keyword, and how can I use this throws keyword. Now move on to the next topic, that is customize exception. First tell me what does mean the customize exception. What is the definition of customize exception? Sometimes we meet to programming requirement, we can define our own exception. Such type of exception is called customize or user defined exception. So customize or user defined exception. User defined exception. Customize or user defined exception. Sometimes we meet to programming requirement, we can define our own exception. Such type of exception is called customize or user defined exception. Now how can I declare the customize exception? How can I declare the customize exception? Let me take this place so that you can understand, because I am just writing here, because this example I am going to analyze. So whenever I want to create my own exception, right, then it is called customize exception. No? So let me take a simple example. Suppose this is class A. I want to create an exception class because I am going to throw my own exception. So this class must be extend runtime exception. Runtime exception, I have discussed that we can always take the runtime exception. We can take any other exception, but it suggests to you runtime exception, because runtime exception is unchecked exception. So that is why I will extend an exception. So otherwise I have to quote it by using try catch, or we have to use the throws keyword, nothing else. Okay. So within that I have to take a constructor. I have to pass some argument. I will tell you that why this string is very important, or why within this constructor I have to write the super keyword. Super S is a string, that string will be passed to this compiler. That is it, nothing else. Here I have a class. This class is now exception class because it extends the runtime exception. So now it is become a exception class, right? Now it is become a exception class, and within exception class I have written a constructor passing a string as an argument. It is not mandatory, but it is compulsory to use that string s. I will discuss why it is required to pass a string argument, because string arguments is required to give some message to the user that what kind of exception may arise in your example. Okay. So that is why, and the very first statement is super. I will discuss why super is required. Also I will discuss why string is required compared to this one. Suppose we have another class, the class name is B and save exception. Now how to use that? This is actually definition. So I can say defining a exception. User define exception. Okay, user define exception, defining a user define exception, right? Now how can I use this exception? For this example I am taking a simple example. Suppose in any website I am going to access the age of a people less than 100, less than 18 and greater than 60 is not acceptable, because I want to access between the range 18 to 60, and within that range whatever the age I am going to access, but if less than 18 I will not going to access, and if greater than 60 I am not going to access. So, I want to throw an exception based on their user input. So, in this example I have taken a class, the name of the class is cast exception demo, okay, and public static void main string args. In this example I am going to take a simple input. So, that input is converted by using integer dot parseIn. So, whatever the string we are going to input through the during runtime as a command line argument. So, I will change it to a integer, and that is the variable age. So, age is a variable which is going to this integer value, okay, and I will change it by convert it by using integer dot parseIn method, just for simplicity. Now, if the age is greater than 60, I am going to throw a new exception, throw new a. I have already defined this exception, throw new a, and within I want to give some message. For example, your age is not satisfied the requirement if it is greater than 60. Else, if the input is age is less than 14, I also throw a new exception b. So, these two classes are present, exception a class is present, exception b class is present, because I have already defined this exception class. Here class A is present, class B is also present. So, your age is too young, this is the message, and if there is no range between, if any range between 18 to 60, I am going to print you will get a match details soon by email. So, that is the programming format, okay. So, here I want to discuss about that whenever I want to explicitly throw an exception, we can use the throws keyword, and in this way we can use our customized or user defined exception, right. So, here in this example I have throw two exception. One of the exception is A, another exception is B. Here I have not taken any runtime exception or IO exception, I have not taken. I have created my own exception class by using class A extend runtime exception and class B extends runtime exception. So, instead of A I have to write B for key constructor, okay. So, suppose this two class is present and I am going to use this class in my simple class cast exception classes. So, what will happen when we throw a new A passing some string, that string will pass to this as an argument, and then S is a super who is going to extend this class, because the super will call the constructor of the super class. Who is the super class? Runtime exception. So, runtime exception will access this string and going to handle this code. So, that is why if I want to print and the runtime exception also handle this code to the JVM by using default handling code, and that string will be print on our computer screen, then there is a termination of program. So, here you can give string if you want to give access to the user that what kind of exception is arise, and if you do not want, do not worry, there is a no argument constructor is also present, you can do that. But super is very important in that sense that we have to pass this string to the my super class, otherwise it is not possible, because we already discussed about the do stuff method, because if there is a not chain of flow is present, how can call the JVM by default exception handler to handle this code. So, that is why super is important in this sense, you can use it, right. And here if another class also doing the same, if age less than equal to 40, and if the age is in the valid range, that means it between the 18 and 16, for example, if the user give the input 35, then that is a valid range. So, you will get the match details soon by email, right. So, this is the use of customize or user defined exception. So, in this lecture I have discussed about the customize exception. I have also discussed about the throws keyword, what is the use, what are the cases I have discussed. We have already discussed the 4 cases where we have seen that throws keyword is very important, and using throws keyword we can throw or handle or delegate this responsibility to handle this caller method. And in this example, in this class or in this lecture, we have familiar with how to declare my customize exception and how to use this customize exception, right? And this is the last chapter of exception handling. Last topic was exception handling. So, in the next lecture I am going to discuss about the input output package. I am going to start a new chapter with new concept. Thank you.